Well, back at it again. Today I'm going to be straightening out an old crusty axle that came off my dump trailer. I have purchased a new axle, but it's been 10 weeks and they still have not been able to get it for me. And I've got a trip out to the ranch coming up, so I'm going to put the old axle back on, but I need to straighten it out. I had a leaf spring fail in the front axle. It's a 16,000 pound gross weight trailer. So the front axle, one of the leaf springs went out, which put all the weight on the back. The frame across the axle tube hit the tube and bent it. So now the spindle where the brake assembly and everything goes it's kicked up, causing the tire to be towed in. So I'm going to attempt to take the ding out of the axle and then put it back on the trailer so I can make my trip. I'll swap it out when I get the new axle, of course. I doubt I can get it perfectly true, but it is what it is. So here's the axle. I'd taken it off because I was going to put the new one on, but I'm still waiting on the new one, so it is what it is. It's got this side's not too bad. It's got a little ding right here. You can kind of see how it's dented in a little bit. That side's I'm not worried about. The other side is the one that is the issue. It's going to wear out my tire by the time I make it 700 miles down the road. You can see there's a pretty good dip in there, about in line with the hole here. See that dip? And it's making the spindle look up. So what I'm gonna do is drill a hole here in the bottom, right through here, and I'll have a solid metal dowel that I'm gonna put in there, and then with the sledgehammer beat from the inside this little ding back out, and hopefully that'll straighten the spindle out enough that it won't wear my tire out for one trip anyway. I got the hole drilled through there. Now we're gonna try to beat that ding out. Judging by my straight edge here, we're gonna still have to go over about 3/8 to half an inch to get it pretty close. Well, I think this is probably about as good as I'm going to be able to get it. It's a lot better than it was. I'd say it's still off about a 1/4 inch. Yeah, I'd say about a 1/4 inch. I think the tire will be alright for that. Now what I'm going to do is clean up these raceways for the bearings. Well, I got it off. I guess for the electric brakes, the wire used to come out of here, but when I cut the brake assembly off, the wire went back up inside the tube. I'm just going to run one on the outside of the tube. This axle is only going to be used for one trip, so I think it'll be alright for one trip. I'm going to go get the trailer using the excavator. That's why I put the ball on the bucket there. First thing I'm going to do is put this new leaf spring. It's a 8,000 pound axle up underneath the trailer, and then I'll slide the axle beam back in that I straightened. I'm going to put the brake assembly back on. When you're tightening these, you don't want to over tighten them. You'll regret that. It'll ruin the bearings and may even ruin the spindle. Just want to snug it up. Spin it a couple times. Loosen it just a little bit. It's okay to have a little bit of play in there. This little clip bends up between the nut and this little slot, keeps it from being able to back off on you. These are all the wires for the electric brake. I'm just gonna, this is a temporary setup. I've got, I had some extra number 10 wire. I'm gonna run it on the outside of the axle all the way to the other side. It's just for one trip. And then I'll be cutting this back out, so. Just gonna put a little flux on it. I got the other side soldered. I'm just gonna hit this heat shrink real quick. Well, I got the machine loaded on the trailer. The machine's right at 10,000 pounds. The bucket that I got on there is about 300 pounds, so it ought to be a good load test. I'm gonna drive it about 5 miles out and then turn back around and come back here to the house, and I'll check the bearings to see if they got warm or if it seems good. Then I'll check the play also on the tires. Well, the trailer rode pretty good. I took it for that little 5-mile run out and then 5 miles back. It got a little bit warm on the bearings, but not hot. I wouldn't consider it bad. You can see the tires still slightly towed in. The back tire there compared to the front one. I don't think it's enough to mess the tire up for this one trip, but you can see that one leaning in a little bit compared to the other one. So I think it was worth the 2.5 hours of beating on the axle tube to get it straightened out some. Well, until next time, see you on the next one.